this is Matt Hug for ThinkNP, and today I want to talk to you about Consulting with Nonprofits, a Practitioner's Guide, a book by Carol Lucas that she wrote a number of years ago, but is still really on spot when it comes to consulting with nonprofits. My copy is from Amherst Wilder Foundation. I think Fieldstone Press put this out today. And the reason I like this book is that it talks about the actual function of consulting. Other books, and I'll talk about them in another video, talk about the business of consulting and then get into some of what it is you actually do when you're a consultant. But this book, Carol Lucas, really covers the nuts and bolts of a consulting engagement really well. So I really recommend grabbing a copy on this. Maybe you only can find it used. That's okay. Whatever you can, find this. Now, I just want to go over a couple of sections here just to give you an idea of what Carol talks about in this book. She starts out with, contracting and how you begin the engagement. And right off the bat, understand the organization and the work to be done. And of course, you're saying, well, that's a no-brainer. Well, you'd be surprised how many folks get into a consulting engagement, just read the website, and that's it. And, you ought to be doing deeper than that. You ought to be doing at least a broader Google search. You ought to be talking to people in the community if you can. Find out, what is it that makes this organization tick, and what is the project that they really need help with, and how that project interfaces with other parts of the organization. So this is a huge part of getting started. And then, of course, you want to talk about your background and experience as a consultant who does the kind of work that they need to be done. Now, another thing you say, well, of course, right? But this is part of the relationship process. You are giving them the confidence that you are the best person to do the job at this time for whatever project they need done. And that's really important, that they feel good about you. So we're not talking about bragging. We're not talking about, doing anything telling things that you shouldn't, either about other clients or, making up stuff about yourself. We're talking about the solid experience that you have, or, if you don't have these other skills that you can bring in that are parallel to that experience, that can maybe bring a new perspective to what they're looking for. But again, this is as much building confidence. They're getting confidence in you, and you getting confidence that you can do what you need to do for them. The next part here she talks about is developing a written agreement. This is huge because not only do you want to have something that you do well with, right? I had a friend I used to do a lot of fundraising calls, right? And this fellow I used to visit built huge skyscrapers in New York City. I was very impressed by how he could get so much done with such a small staff. I mean, I came into his office, very nicely appointed. If I saw 5 people, it was a lot in any day. Everybody else was out. But he said to me, contracts are really weird things. He said, you have to have them, but when things go great, nobody cares about the contract. When things go bad, everybody thinks the contract is bad. But you got to have a contract. And so you always want to be clear on what you're doing. Of course, there is something else about this too. In a lot of states, depending on what kind of work you do, like for example, if you're doing fundraising consulting, you not only need to be registered in that state to do the consulting, but some states require you to send them their contracts that have specific points in it that state requires by law for you to do business in that state, in that subject matter. So make sure that whenever you are working in, even in your own state, that you're covered by these things and your contracts reflect that. So make sure that you get the contract right. And then, of course, you really want to decide whether you are going to work with that client. That sounds odd, right? Why wouldn't you take a job that's offered to you? Because any number of things, right? you don't like, maybe you don't like their mission. And, they're looking at that about you too. One thing about working with nonprofits is they are, of course, mission-focused organizations. And just like they hire staff, they hire consultants sometimes, judging whether that consultant is dedicated to their mission. So if this is a mission that's important to you, that you're serving through this consulting engagement, definitely tell them that. But then also, what is their philosophy toward what you're doing? Is it a necessary evil? Is it something you really embrace? Is it important for you that they carry on this work that you're going to set them up with, for example, beyond your engagement? Or do you see it happening where you're just there to kind of check a box for them and then they don't care? You may not care either. That's fine. But again, think about, is this going to be somebody I want to work for? If the phone rings at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock at night, are you going to be happy to hear from them and smile? Or are you going to say, oh my gosh, here's this person again. I don't want to deal with them, right? Now is the time to decide that, because you're your own business. You can make these decisions. You don't have to be working with people that you don't want to. Like I said, I think that you need to take a good serious look at this book. There are other sections of it I think that are really important here. Steps in the contracting process or the consulting process here, planning your work, getting data, analyzing data, right? Roles of different consultants, like being an advocate to being a reflector. She goes over a lot of important, interesting work there. And then any number of references in the resource section that can help you further working in consulting. So, again, the book is Consulting with Nonprofits, A Practitioner's Guide by Carol Lucas. Grab your copy. Thanks. This is Matt Hug for ThinkNP. Have a great day.